Hello friends and welcome to another episode of Cycling Insider. In this episode, let's talk about an interesting bike from Canyon Ultimate CF SL7 Disc eTap. As you see, it's a mouthful of bike names, but make no mistake, it's gonna be an excellent bike from Canyon for the 2022 season. But before we start, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe and hit that little like button because it's gonna help in growing the channel. And of course, for all of you who are already a subscriber, then definitely thank you. So as I was saying, Canyon Ultimate CF SL7 Disc eTap for the 2022 season. Let's first answer the question, who is this bike for? So you see, Canyon Ultimate platform is all about lightweight climbing stiff machines. So if you are in the market for that type of the bike, you definitely have to look at this Canyon Ultimate CF SL7. Retail price is 3,200 British pounds or 3,300 euros. So, I mean, definitely not a cheap bike, but you will see that it's a great value for money, in my opinion. This is usually what Canyon does, a great value for money. When you speak about the paint scheme options on this bike, luckily you will have two paint scheme options. The first one is this truly beautiful, as they call it, true dark red, and then we have another one which is true gray, as they call it. In my opinion, both paint schemes are beautiful, and I wouldn't have any problems in choosing any of these, but I'm definitely glad that Canyon has included two paint schemes on this bike, because as I said, the retail price is 3,200 euros. I have to mention here that the total weight of the bike is going to be 7.94 kilograms. I'm guessing this is going to be in some size medium. So for example, if you need a size large, I would easily add another 200 grams on top of it. So about 8.1 kilograms, I would call it in size large. Now we can dive into the components of this bike and we can really see what do you get for your 3,200 British pounds or approximately 3,300 euros. First thing first, we can kick off with the frame and the fork on the bike. So the frame is a carbon fiber frame from Canyon, and this is their Canyon Ultimate CF-SL carbon fiber frame. And also we have a fork, which is a carbon fiber fork, CF carbon fiber fork. Both frame and the fork come with a 12mm through axle, so front and the back. Also the frame has a press fit bottom bracket, and of course it is available for the internal cable routing, and we have a flat mount disc brakes both front and the back. I will just mention here that this CF-SL carbon fiber frame is not top of the line creme de la creme that Canyon can do. They have a level above, which is CF-SLX, and then they have a very special series, CFR, their racing series. But make no mistake, this CF-SL is a perfectly fine carbon fiber frame. You have to be aware here that carbon fiber frames and forks from Canyon come with a 6 years guarantee, so just keep that in mind, because for example certain other manufacturers like Giant, Merida, Trek Specialized can offer you a lifetime warranty. I truly hope that at some point Canyon will move to a lifetime warranty, but it is what it is now with the 6 years guarantee. Generally speaking, this carbon fiber frame CF-SL level and this carbon fiber fork on the CF level, I have no special complaints here, everything perfectly fine. Now let's talk about the drivetrain on this bike, because this is definitely one of the highlights and secret sauces of this bike. So when it comes to the drivetrain, we are speaking about a wireless group set from SRAM. So this is a SRAM Rival eTap AXS wireless group set. So 12-speed wireless group set where shifters, front mech and the rear mech, everything is a SRAM Rival eTap wireless, and all of these components are of course communicating wirelessly with each other. There's no cables on this bike, so it really looks very clean. And SRAM Rival eTap wireless will work perfectly fine. There's so much good reviews out there about this group set, and you know, one of the reasons why SRAM introduced this wireless group set is because they try to produce the kind of cheapest possible currently on the market wireless group set, and they've definitely succeeded in this. So as I said, front mech, rear mech, shifters, everything is SRAM Rival eTap wireless group set. Absolutely superb. I don't have any complaints here. You can set up everything through an app, so it's really gonna work flawlessly. Now we can talk about some other components of the drivetrain. For example, cassette. So the cassette is the SRAM Rival cassette, of course 12-speed cassette. This is 1030 cassette, and this cassette is going to be the SRAM's Rival XG 1250 cassette. This cassette is an absolute, piece of art, a beautiful piece of work that SRAM has done on this cassette, but also you gotta keep in mind that once in the future, when you need to replace this 12-speed cassette, it's gonna set you back 125 euros. Also, there's an option here, since this cassette is 1030, in the future you can change it, for example, to 1036 if you need a bit more range in your cassette. This cassette is paired with the crankset, which is a SRAM Rival crankset, but this crankset comes with a little additional bonus, which is a power meter. So this is a Quark power meter included in the SRAM Rival crankset, which is absolutely superb in this price point, and I'm really glad that Canyon has included this power meter. So for all of you out there who are training with a power meter, this is a great addition. Also, I would just mention here that the batteries you are using for this power meter are AAA batteries, so very easy to replace. You can find them, anywhere on the market. This crankset is 4835 chainrings at the front, and as I said, at the back you have a cassette 1030. So technically you won't have any big problems in attacking any steep mountains. But again, when it comes to this crankset, SRAM's Rival AXS with the power meter, if in the future you want to change some chain rings, there are a few options. So you can run 4633 chain rings, or you can run these 4835 chain rings at the front. And I will just mention, for example, if you would be buying this crankset on the open market, it's a 360 euros price for this crankset, so definitely a spicy price. As I was saying, the bottom bracket on the frame is a press fit bottom bracket, but this is the SRAM Dub press fit bottom bracket, so the SRAM standard because of the crankset. And I have to mention here that there has been some reports that this SRAM Dub crankset can develop a bit of more creaking noises than equivalent Shimano press fit bottom bracket, so just please keep that in mind. Speaking about the chain on this bike, this is a SRAM Rival D1 12-speed chain, absolutely superb stuff, no complaints here. And you see, I'm glad that Canyon didn't cheap out and they've included a proper SRAM Rival chain. In the future, when you are replacing this chain, I would definitely stick with SRAM chains, whatever chain you want, just because it's going to be nicely compatible with the cassette and the chain rings at the front. When we speak about the braking system on this bike, you will get a SRAM hydraulic disc brake. So these are SRAM Rival hydraulic disc brakes with the SRAM Paceline rotors. These Paceline rotors are 160 millimeters both front and the back, so I'm expecting a very good heat dissipation and no problems here. I will just mention that there will definitely be differences if you are moving from the Shimano hydraulic disc brakes to the SRAM hydraulic disc brakes. A little bit different feeling when you are braking, and also again from some reports I've heard, people who have been using Shimano hydraulic disc brakes for a long time still prefer them compared to the SRAM Rival hydraulic disc brakes. But as I said, with these SRAM Rival hydraulic disc brakes, I'm not expecting any problems. Heat dissipation should be very good, and also the braking power should be more than sufficient. Now let's talk about the wheel set on this bike. So this is a DT Swiss P1800 spline disc wheel set. You know I'm a huge fan of DT Swiss wheels. They always do great job, and this is another example of a very simple aluminium wheel set which is done correctly. So for example, if you would buy this wheel set on an open market, you would pay approximately $500. But when we look at some of the specifications of the wheels, I can tell you a few interesting things. So the rear wheel is 885 grams and the front wheel 766 grams. So in total, this wheel set will set you back for about 1,600 grams, let's call it, 1,650 grams. So definitely, you know, not the lightest, but keep in mind that this is the aluminum wheel set. So it's easy kind of in the future if you want to upgrade. This wheel set, of course, is tubeless compatible, tubeless ready. You just need to provide your own tubeless tape and tubeless valves. On this wheel set, the rim height is 23 millimeters and the internal rim width is going to be 18 millimeters. This is something that definitely DT Swiss should change in the future to increase this internal width, but as it is now, it's only 18 millimeters. Hubs on this wheel set, superb DT Swiss stuff, DT Swiss 370 hubs, front and the back, with 12 millimeter through axles, and of course I will mention here this is a 3-pole DT Swiss system on these hubs. Spokes and nipples, both from DT Swiss, so DT Swiss Aero spokes and DT Swiss Prolock nipples. As I said, just in the future, if you are moving to tubeless tires, you will have to just provide your own tubeless valves and tape for this wheel set, but as it is a superb piece of aluminum wheel set on this bike, and I absolutely have no complaints here. This wheel set is wrapped in Continental Grand Prix 5000 tires, again a superb tire, and this is a 28mm tire. I'm so glad that Canyon has included a 28mm tire on their climbing machine, just because you're going to get so much more air volume and you will have so much more smoother ride on these 28mm tires. I will also mention here that these tires with this 10-wall sidewall, they just look great, and also their TPI is 330, which means they're going to be very, very supple tire. Now let's talk about some of the smaller pieces of the cockpit, like the handlebar and the stem. So you see here you are getting one piece affair, as I would call it. So this is a single piece handlebar stem from Canyon, their so-called Aero cockpit. It is a carbon fiber piece, which is absolutely superb, but again, just keep in mind that with this single piece handlebar stem, if you need to change it in the future, definitely your choices are a bit limited, and if you need to finely tune your position on the bike, again, your choices will be limited. But all in all, just because of the aerodynamical gains, Canyon has gone with this carbon fiber cockpit. Personally, I wish they had a 2-piece cockpit, even if it's an aluminum piece, but it is what it is. Seat post and the saddle. Seat post is a very famous Canyon's own VCLS carbon fiber seat post, which is a superb seat post. You'll have so much nice flex in this seat post, and it will allow you to soak up so many of the road bumps, so the ride is going to be smooth. Saddle, again, superb choice from Selle Italia. This is Selle Italia SLR Boost. I hope you're going to like it. Selle Italia does great saddles, but in case you don't like it, it's a very easy component to change, because saddles are usually a personal preference. So as I said, the total weight of this bike is 7.94 kilograms, but I'm guessing this is for the size medium, so just keep that in mind. And in a summary, the question is, do I have any special complaints about this bike? And I would say absolutely no. I think that for the price given, 3,200 British pounds or 3,300 euros, you are getting an excellent package from Canyon. The only thing that, keep in mind for the future is this single piece handlebar and the stem. If you need to replace this carbon piece in the future, upgrade, it's gonna be, you know, a bit limiting choices just because this is a single piece affair. Except from that, definitely the highlights of this bike is a wireless SRAM Rival group set, which is going to work supremely, you know, fine, no problems there. And you are also getting, in my opinion, a great aluminium wheel set from DT Swiss, their DT Swiss P1800 spline. So all in all, I think this is going to be it for today. I hope you like what I'm doing, and if you do, please do subscribe and hit that little like button, because it's gonna help in growing the channel. And of course, I will see you soon in the next episode. Pura Vida.